Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. Our time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work.
Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. Of course, I'm Aeson tonight, and with me tonight is, of course, Techy Joe. And it is doing it again. It isn't your sound. All right, guys, I'm going to pop out for a second, and I will be right back.
Yeah, we've been having some echoing issues, so he's going to go grab a headset and get that set up for you guys so you don't have that weirdo echo. So, yeah, so how are you guys this Friday? Hello to Medium Jessica and Brenda. How are you guys doing? Like, how's y'all's week been? Ours has been a little hectic, not as crazy. We did finally get our COVID-19 vaccination. Vaccination 2. There he is.
Hello.
Swapped around and I do it.
Okay, you do it.
Now I'm just going to shuffle it for fun. Okay.
You're going to make him dizzy on the cell phone. We've already talked about backgrounds.
Ooh, Medium Jessica has a question whenever you're ready. Ooh.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and check that on.
All right. Let me let me get that banner up. Like, come on, guys, give us a second. There we go.
There we
Sorry,
go.
we've been playing in the studio. We've had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, we've done a lot of studio stuff and a lot of problematical studio stuff, and it's like, give us a second to figure out where we stuck stuff.
Okay, same Jessica.
Yeah,
I wasn't
coming
sure.
over to YouTube. Hello, darlings. What do you got for me? Remember, I need your birth date.
Yes. So yeah, he'll get set up for that, and we'll go through some of the quick stuff anyway. So yeah, COVID-19 vaccination 2. I have a mild to moderate improvement in cell phone reception. That seems to be everything I've gotten out of my vaccination. He has gotten hit with everything I got from vaccination 1. Because vaccination 1 kind of knocked me out.
Right.
And I was toast for days.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And, I've been toast. And, of course, I wish we had gotten the 8th. There have been some delays, and I'm really sorry for those delays. Some of the daily guides only went to certain places because, of course, like any good person, I bulk film a lot of things. So if you guys have missed your daily psychic guides, I'm sorry. Always remember to subscribe to YouTube because it will have the extended versions. But if you're a short viewer or maybe an Instagrammer or a Facebooker, again, I'm sorry. I just didn't have the energy. There are days that I am just like, no, you don't want me reading for you. I will tell you, cup of coffee when you ask me if he's going to call you.
Well, and you've been struggling the last few days, and there were a couple of points you were going to try to do stuff, and I'm like, yeah, you're in no capacity.
Right.
Like, you're just going to be back there, like, what day is it? Like, it would not have been good, guys.
No, it would not have been pretty. It would not have been good, but that's okay. Jessica, I need your birth year. Yes, I know you're over 18, but our lawyers don't.
Yes. Oh, but yeah, I think we messed with her too much when I was flipping us back and forth. That's what it is.
Probably.
I've traumatized people.
No, you'll do better with
Hello,
it.
Shannon. Or
Hello,
hello.
Shannon. Oh, there we go. So shoot with it, Vanna.
Alrighty. So Jessica, June 14th of 89. My question is about William. Is there a future relationship between him and me?
Okay.
He's confusing me.
Yeah, well, that's understandable for him to confuse you. Just because he has that ability, he gets so stuck in his head. I do feel there's a future relationship, but I feel he's stressing and worrying himself out. So with that, you're going to have to watch there and just kind of be like the queen here that's loving and nurturing and be like, oh, you come along when you're ready. Just anytime now. I've got other things to go do. Oh, by the way, I got to work. So you could do your thing and I'll be back. You know, that type of thing.
Okay.
It's going to be one of those long, drawn-out processes. Let it be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the long draw out is kind of nice.
Yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes that slow dance is what's needed. And it gets fun. All right. So what do you want to take on first tonight?
Oh, well, since we've already brought up COVID, let's just go ahead and jump in there.
Yeah. So Johnson & Johnson has stopped being paused. They felt that it was a very rare side effect that could be handled when looking at the medical charts. So they have began giving Johnson & Johnson again. Now remember, Johnson & Johnson is not my favorite vaccine, but at this point in time, any vaccine will do.
Well, yeah. So what is Johnson & Johnson actually asking for there? In terms of like, is it now like a screening question? Like, have you ever done this? Are you taking this? Are you?
Well, actually, it's not Johnson & Johnson is doing this. The CDC doing it. And what they're doing is they're going, okay, and you know, that normal 50, if you've got blood pressure or clotting issues, you may be denied Johnson & Johnson and told to get Pfizer or Moderna. Now, granted, we are Team Pfizer. We like their data. We like their research. We like the formulation. It is one of the best form drugs that are actually going to spring into a new revolution. And when I say new revolution, this vaccine that they have produced for us, hi Mika, is actually a different vaccine than has been used before. It's been formulated directly off the DNA of the virus. So that means it isn't playing games other than its carrier, meaning the thing that get it into the body. It is not a live virus. It is not a manufactured virus. It is a copy of DNA. And if anyone is familiar with DNA, i.e. murder cases, you know how accurate that is. Also, you know how wonderful it is because they're now looking at taking that vaccine formulation and copying cancer, copying other diseases that we may have been working on for more than 30 years. Even now we have scientists looking at this as possibly being an AIDS vaccine, which will be awesome if they can formulate it that way. However,
well, at least as they found a great delivery system, something that really pops in.
Right.
So yeah, that's always good news. Because that is sometimes one of the bigger problems.
Right.
Is like, how do you get something into the body effectively?
Right. And get
like
the body to actually like it and not go, oh, well, I'm not going to pay attention to that.
Right.
Right. And that was my thing when we were originally seeing the graphs of what the virus looked like, COVID. It was like, I've seen this elsewhere. Where have I seen this graph elsewhere? And it took me a minute to remember that it's a lot of medical journals, that diagram. And COVID is one of those diagrams that you can look at and see the same components of other diseases. So their delivery system could be even more accurate. So There's a lot of new research in this area. This is a totally fresh approach because they had to come up with something fresh because they needed it now. They didn't have time to experiment for 20 years. So
Right.
this will be really good. However, I'm a little aggravated with my industry and my community.
Yes. So let's start with my little joke about slightly improved cell phone reception. So I'm playing on that whole situation in the very beginning in which we were watching people burn down 5G towers because, that was causing COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Out of a total misunderstanding of 5G technology, microwaves, the whole gambit there.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't actually have even moderately improved cell phone signal. Like, don't get the vaccine for that.
Well,
Get
I
it
was hoping for the dragon transformation. I mean, either that or unicorn horns.
I know.
Neither has occurred.
That's okay. We'll file your regular horns down later. We'll make them extra pointy.
Yeah, make them extra pointy so I can poke people more. But no, I have heard psychics say that they are putting stuff in their drug to dumb you down and destroy your immune system. No. If anything, this is going to vamp up your immune system to where if you have maybe you have an autoimmune disorder, it gives your autoimmune disorder something to do for 2 weeks and not attack you. That is about the only thing it's going to do to the immune system. Because what this basically does is like me handing Joe my burger recipe and going, here, go cook this. It tells your body, oh, when this character shows up, we take and we hit him with this, and we hit him with this, and we hit him with this. And oh, yeah, we smack him around with this and ship him out the door.
Yeah.
That is the standard vaccine. The only difference is instead of giving you live viruses, like they do with the flu shot, like they do with all the other vaccines, they're giving you assimilation.
Effectively.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, which is a slightly different thing. And I don't know. I just don't understand. I'm struggling to understand what is going on, like in your industry, especially that people are getting so like weird on this.
Well, I think they're getting weird on this because they don't understand. It's different. It's new. We saw this. I see this in history a lot, like when electricity came out. Don't have electric lights where you read. It'll affect your things. We still even have this with psychics that refuse to use cell phones because it will affect your vibe. This gets my bullshit crap award. Okay?
Yeah.
So, with that, here's the thing, and here's the analyzation of it. You want to get your vaccine. If you can get Pfizer, wonderful. If you can get Moderna, wonderful. Same technology, different carrier. And then if you cannot get either one, you can only get Johnson & Johnson right now, get it. Be honest with them. The most reactions they have is when people are not honest.
Yeah.
When, they ask, are you allergic to XYZ? And you go, no, I've never had a blood clotting issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and more importantly, this isn't a time to like choose, playing Russian roulette.
No, it isn't.
Like,
this isn't a time for what I call new age bullshit.
Yeah, this is one of those things. Like I will say, from our experience, this has been like dropped down to the most simplistic set of questions. Like, this isn't like your normal doctor's visit where you're going to get asked like 1,001 questions. This is a very like the things they are asking are legitimate to the vaccination. Like, that's it. Like, and this is not a time to like forget anything or be selective with what you tell people.
Right.
And I understand that. And I will put myself out there just a little bit. I had seizures as an infant. And my parents were of a generation that epilepsy was something that you just didn't talk about. Like, you didn't talk about any illness or any whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But especially not epilepsy. There was the hope that after I had my 2 seizures as an infant, I would never have another one again. That was basically what they were told. But it left my parents scared that one day I could have another seizure.
Right.
And what they understood of epilepsy was, a product of their era,
Mhm.
which was if you were epileptic, you it was down to a point of you would never have a job, you would never drive a car, no one would want to marry you, no one would want to, you might as well have institutionalized me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of their plan was, we don't ever talk about it. You don't ever talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know it, but don't ever talk about it. Don't ever tell anyone this happened to you.
Right.
So flash forward. I did what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was ingrained. Have you ever had a seizure? Nope. Have you ever had a seizure? Nope. Have you ever had a seizure? Nope. Then I ran into the one time that it mattered, which was, and even still, being asked for a very specific medication that a doctor was about to put me on. And they asked, have you ever had a seizure? Because if you've ever had a seizure, you really don't want to take this med. And my training kept going, and I went, nope. And walked out of there with a nice little prescription that I went and got filled, and I took, and I proceeded to have a bad reaction to the medication. Called the doctor, explained what happened, and he went, so you've had a seizure? And I went, now? Or I went, now? And he goes, no, ever. He said, the correct answer to that question was, yes, I have had a seizure. He said, and if you'd told me that, I wouldn't have written the prescription. So we'll talk about that next visit.
Right.
So this is one of those moments that, no matter how much you've been trained to, don't ever tell anyone this happened, this is the time.
Right. And it's important
to put that on a shelf.
Right. And it's important to, if you're unsure of which one you should take, contact your doctor, not your psychic.
Absolutely. Well, and I mean, basically what you've expressed is a preference with reasons.
Right.
And it's more like a ranking, Pfizer's really good. Moderna's, basically is good, but, there's some technical differences that you're not as fond of. And then the Johnson & Johnson is kind of well, it has had some issues, but we are still at the level of, I believe, 6 deaths associated.
We're at the level of 6 deaths associated. Oh, God, the echo is terrible.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Let me play with my settings, and I will be right back. But you can talk about the AstraZeneca one, which isn't on my list.
Oh, well, unfortunately, not quite on mine either.
Okay.
Let me see what I can pull up. There we go. AstraZeneca vaccine. So, yeah.
Okay. Here's why. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Here's why AstraZeneca isn't on my list. AstraZeneca is not on my list because their research for AstraZeneca is so damn confusing. It looks like someone copied and pasted the document. But anyhow, what's your thoughts? What have you seen in the news? Because you're the one that does all the new article reading.
Well, basically what I'm seeing is that they're kind of interlinked. Johnson & Johnson and AstraZeneca. They're both having a similar issue. And that's because both of them are using adenoviruses. And effectively what's going on there is you might as well, it's a coin toss on the Johnson & Johnson AstraZeneca. They're pretty close. It's sort of like the Pfizer / Moderna. They're fairly similar.
Right.
One zigged when the other one zagged, and it's kind of in the same boat for AstraZeneca. And Johnson & Johnson is one kind of zigged, one kind of zagged. Now, between the four, they kind of split into two categories because they both took, that's the fork. Like the first fork is between two companies and two companies. The second fork occurs with each of those companies and exactly what they did. But then again, this could have just as easily happened on the other side.
Right.
And not just saying blood clotting, I'm saying any side effect.
Right.
We are rushing this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ever lie to anyone about that and say that, oh yeah, no, we have 20 years of science backing this. No, we have a hope, wing, and a prayer. Because right now we're looking at 6 related deaths in the U.S. Related to the vaccine. And I'm sorry, what's our current death toll for the virus? I'm looking that up because I want to get that up today. COVID-19 deaths, and because I had to quit looking at some point.
No, I had to stop watching a lot of stuff just couldn't. But anyhow, so
570,000 deaths. 32 million cases, 570,000 deaths in the U.S. So, congratulations to the person who said we were going to end up needing 500,000 body bags.
Well, I think we're not out of the woods yet on this. We are not out of the woods. Just because we're vaccinated doesn't mean we're out of the woods. This is an active disease. And the thing to remember here is that the disease itself has, vaccines themselves hadn't really improved since the 40s. Copy the disease, kill the disease, teach your body to kill the disease, infect with a dead disease. COVID, they didn't take that route. It's too risky. And also the ports on the virus infecting your red blood or infecting your body was different. It was actually something we see more out of long-term diseases that we've been raising money for and curing money for.
Yeah.
So,
just for comparison's sake, I was looking this up while you were talking. That is more than the population of Atlanta, Georgia. The 37th largest city in the United States. The home of the CDC.
Yep.
506,811 people in Atlanta. We have had 507,000 deaths.
Right.
Like that, just let that sink in. If you've ever been to Atlanta, imagine driving in to a ghost town, like post-apocalyptic ghost town. That is how many people have died in the U.S. We could have knocked out an entire city of stature. Within West Virginia, by comparison, that was also brought up in the news recently, and we're at 2,808 deaths. So trying to, let's see, West Virginia cities by population. So yeah. Oh, let's see where we are at with that. That's should be a quick short trip. 2,000. That is effectively, I believe, Fayetteville, West Virginia. 2,808 deaths is more than the population of Fayetteville, West Virginia. So just slightly short of Canova, West Virginia, but Fayetteville being the more notable one. We live right next to it. I can't even begin to imagine driving into Fayetteville in a post-apocalyptic ghost town situation. Can you? So I think he's still having some audio connections. But yeah. Back with us with audio?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, in West Virginia, the death rate is more than the city of Fayetteville. Population 2,762 versus 2,808 deaths. So yeah, I'm just saying, in terms of the number of problems related to vaccination, with the number, I mean, I don't know how you sit there and compare it.
Right.
In a way that would lead you to decide that you shouldn't have any vaccination.
Mm-hmm.
I can see, and I can totally understand, and I think anyone could, being a little on the Johnson & Johnson one, especially in any population that could possibly have a vulnerability there. I can understand that, or wanting to opt for one of the others. I get that. But to absolutely like go off the handle, because what we have seen is more people talking about all of the deaths related to the vaccination.
Right. And it's not all the deaths. It's all the problems when you're not honest. And again, talk to your doctor, not your psychic. I am so tired of that. So let's move on to the other piss Aeson off in the psychic industry topic.
Okay.
So I'm perusing my Instagram. I'll be honest, guys. Instagram, Facebook, I don't normally pay attention to who follows me. I love you followers, but it's, and I follow a lot of people back. And I see a graphic, and I am like fit to be tied. I don't know how often I have to say this, how often I'm going to have to continue to say this. Me praying for you should not cost you anything.
Mm-hmm.
Someone charging $48 for a prayer, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Someone charging $5,000 for a prayer and a candle lighting, even more ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and I think a tack onto that, because we have talked about the case before that was in the news. It's been a while, of the psychic in California that was having people deliver money to her house that she was supposed to bless and then return to them minus a small fee for her blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't ever pull all your money out of the bank and send it to anyone expecting to get it back.
Right.
Minus a small fee. Because that is totally not what she did. A lot of people lost their entire life savings through that.
Exactly. And a lot
because
of people,
she had convinced them that their money was cursed, that they needed this in order to grow their businesses or stop business problems, or basically in one way or another stop their financial problems.
Right.
Was to have their money blessed. So people were sending like FedEx packages of cash.
Mm-hmm. There is psychics on Keen that charge $30 to $40 a minute. There is a psychic on Keen right now, if they haven't killed her yet, i.e., I hope her clients run her over with a freight train, that charges $59.95. I am not that psychic.
No. Well, and I reacted the first time. Like you were talking, like the first time I saw like the $15 psychic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, who the hell calls the $15 psychic? I mean, like, how much money do you have to burn?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh no, scroll, scroll, scroll.
Right.
Here's this one. And I went, oh, like, that can't be a real number. Like, that sounds like, are you kidding me? Like, forget for a second, just forget for a second that, like, my initial reaction, I like, there's nothing in my life I would pay $50 a minute for,
Right.
that I can think of.
Mm-hmm.
Though I'm sure a couple of my surgeries probably worked out to that or
Mm-hmm.
more. But you know, insurance, for what it was worth. But no, I'm just trying to understand that.
Right.
Like, I know that you guys, like, lose a cut of that, and I
Right.
get that part, and I think everyone gets that part. But how does a customer mentally justify that amount?
Well, this is
Like,
what I have never gotten in our industry, and it drives me crazy because I battle this. I battle this very hard. If I had my way, and if you guys look at my private appointments and do the math,
mhm.
I make about the same amount of money I made on my private appointments that I made in 99, 2000. I really haven't I raise my rates when I have to.
Mhm.
I got people that won't call me. The people that are calling the $21 a minute psychics and the $40 a minute psychics and the $60 a minute psychics won't call me.
No.
No.
Well, and I think that becomes a self-reinforcing bubble, though.
It does.
Because, I mean, now there's a certain science to it
Mm-hmm.
that says, and it's the same thing that happens when, like, you see the $10,000 like courses to increase your wealth. When you get someone to part with that much money, mentally your mind does gymnastics trying to justify to yourself that was money well spent.
Right.
Like, it becomes a thing of, and I forget the exact psychological thing, but it becomes a thing that you cannot, like, once you are that invested, you cannot admit even to yourself that you made a mistake.
Right. And
Or
see,
that the money was not well spent. You
well,
have to mentally just keep going.
right. And see, here's my problem. And here's always been my problem in the industry. And I will make it my problem as often as I can. And I have said this in a number of board meetings, a number of platform meetings, a number of places. A person does not need to be calling me with their rent money or their mortgage money or their car payment money.
Okay.
And okay. And that's just my normal 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute call.
Yeah.
I have big issues with that. I have big issues with people charging a lot of money that do not have the skill set. I will never price myself at my skill set unless, I get a book deal, a TV deal, and I'm running a weekly TV show that is nationwide syndicated, that I could see having to control the feed.
Well, but even still, like, I think you're going to be even more paying even more attention to, like, who all's calling and what situation they're in.
Right.
And being like, oh, no, sweetie, please don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, please, for, do yourself a favor. Like, you want to improve your situation, don't call me. You cannot afford this right now. Let your situation get better first.
Right.
Like, like, sometimes you just gotta take a moment.
Right.
Like,
well, I'm going to look at what I call today's national standard for psychics. And that is, of course, the Long Island medium. Does she even still offer private readings?
oh, Possibly. Though something tells me that's so selective at this point, it's ridiculous.
Well, let's see what the platinum
Like, I don't
experience
see
is.
her sitting on Keen at like 3 a.m. Do you?
I don't. Okay,
I mean,
so
or
she isn't
anything
up.
like that. Like, I
Okay.
don't think she does that anymore.
Okay, so let's go to the one that inherited the title of Christy.
Well, because now there's been because we were talking, and of course, Susan Shepard's passing, which was a great loss to the psychic community and to West Virginia psychics as well. But she was number one on that list. She was the top psychic in West Virginia. She has been at the top of that list for I don't know how many years.
Right.
But, and I had a point here, there was somewhere I was going and I didn't want to gloss over it, or over her passing. But
her readings, let's go to her reading prices. She is top in West Virginia. She had 4 decks out. She owned a touring company.
mm-hmm.
Okay. In West Virginia and anywhere else, her readings was about my same prices if she took them. Because she was so busy and she had so much going on. Her readings, were the standard.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, hi, be reasonable.
Yeah.
I think anyone should. There's a difference. Everyone loves money. I love making money. Professionally, there's probably a lot of things I could do to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
God knows my clients like tipping me. Like, just let you know where my prices are. People tip.
Right.
Because they're like, that was a ridiculous invoice. Here's more money.
Right.
But at the same time, mentally, to me, I kind of have to back off on my prices personally.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, that's a ridiculous amount of money to charge for that.
Right.
Because there's sometimes the things I do, yes, I have a knowledge and a skill set,
mm-hmm.
but the thing that I did wasn't all that crazy. Like, right. It wasn't like, this isn't, I will give y'all a horrible insight to computer repair. Like, y'all write this down. It looks nothing like the movies.
No, it doesn't.
It looks nothing like that.
No, but here's an example. Chris Dufane, Sylvia Breen's son, trained with her all his life. His current rates.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get past his special offer, which, if you've never had a reading with him, blah, 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 you can get a special offer. Chris on the phone, this is an unlimited reading for $445. A half-hour appointment is $150. 1 hour appointment is $350. For life reading, which is a specialty reading, it's probably at least an hour long, and if not longer, is $350. On sale right now, a half-hour Skype reading. This is one of those long-style readings is $200. That's the full life reading special. So he is what I would say the inheritor to the Sylvia Brown legacy. And at one time she was charging $800 an hour. And that was to limit her hours because she would only do 20 readings a day. Hi, Aeson. Hi. I just read that. Sorry. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Yeah.
All right. So at $150 an hour is $2.50 a minute.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, $150, and I think sometimes that's the pricing issue.
Right.
$150 an hour is what you would also pay almost any psychiatrist as a professional fee.
Right.
Like, you want to talk about an industry that can choose to accept insurance or not. $2.50 a minute. Not an unreasonable number.
Right.
And just to look at that 800, because that's going to stick with me. So that $800 an hour, which seems like, oh my God, is still only $13.33 a minute. So you have psychics. Just to point this out, that means Sylvia Brown, height of her career, she could command basically anything.
Mm-hmm.
Was still charging less than some of like the network psychics that you see out there,
Right.
like
Now,
the $20 to $40 bitches
who had 38 books, who done national tours, who broke ground like we have not seen since Edgar Casey.
Mm-hmm.
We have keen psychics. You don't know who they are because if you look at their name and their picture, and I'll tell you because I used to buy pictures for adult sites when I was in web design. Well, I'm still in web design, but I'm not the direct hand of it, and we're not in that industry anymore. Those are model pictures. I know the set they bought. I know how much they paid for their set. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's also a thing I won't do. Like, I'm sorry. No. No.
Right.
You can make your money off your own face. This is what I'm stuck with.
Mm-hmm. Again, so anyhow, Mika has a question. Ashley has a question. So we're going to pop between these two. But guys, please stop paying for prayers. You need prayer. Hit my cauldron list. It is on one of my websites. Email me. I will gladly put you into my little cauldron right here.
Nexus. Like, hi, just
Get
show up.
Pagan Nexus, and then that way you get a whole group of prayers. But anyhow, see this little cauldron? Your butt goes in here. You get burnt every morning at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
Yep. So, and that costs you nothing. I don't know who these people think they are to charge for prayers and lighting candles and stuff. They ain't nothing. They are not nothing. You're wasting your money. Please stop it. Do not call a psychic that is charging a ton of more money than Sylvia Brown ever thought of.
Yeah, seriously. And Ashley would like to be in the cauldron.
All right. Let me grab my little note paper and throw you in here, Ashley.
All righty. And Mika as well. While you have the pen out.
Well, I have the pen out. In you go. It's that hard.
Yes.
All right.
It was horrible, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? You know.
Like you just can't wait for the money to hit your Visa account to do it again.
I don't think so.
No. Like that's
bullshit.
No,
I'm
sorry.
Bullshit. God,
I know.
how are we ever going to be seen as professional industry? So we stop. And this is why you guys want to do me through Venmo. You want to do me through, pay me through, what's the other one? Cash App. You want to do me through, Square. Why don't you accept credit cards on the site?
We do.
We do through PayPal.
Yes.
But these are the reasons why honest psychics have so many troubles with credit card processors because of these bullshits. Because people can't take a Post-it note, write a name down, and put it in the cauldron to be burned in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will not film that. But just know your butts are in the cauldron until you ask me to take you out. And if you get a little hot in the morning, I don't want to hear it. You asked it for healing. You asked it for your butt in the cauldron. You can sweat yourself out. All right. So Mika's got a question. Let's hear it.
22082. I know you're not a doctor, but I trust your judgment. Do you see any forms of Mary Jane CBD that could help me cope with my anxiety? I don't want to take meds. I don't trust them.
All right, Mika, I need two questions answered for me to look at this. One, you understand I'm not a doctor, that I do not practice medicine. I do have an RN. I used to have an RN. And also, I need to know if you will drink tea.
All right. While we're waiting on that, I do want to say hello to Shannon Cole.
Hello.
And yes, congratulations, Ashley, on the negative COVID test.
Yes, I'm glad I was right on that. Again, I am not a doctor. All right. So moving on back to Mika. Will Mary Jane or CBD help you? Here's my problem with the CBD industry. This is the industry as a whole. You don't know what you're getting. Here's what I'm talking about. I have tried CBD. I've tried CBD for pain management. I've tried it for sleep. Neither of those helped. I was like, what? This is nothing. Okay.
Well, which led to us looking into it a little closer, and my takeaway from it was the CBD industry as a whole is a lot like going to GNC used to be. Is it says shit on the bottle. You don't know what's in it, what quantity is in it. They don't know what's in it or what quantity is in it. That's just the label.
Right.
And it's like, good luck.
Right.
Like, this may help you. This may have lead paint. We don't know.
Or this may just be a fun gummy that we decided to create that looks like a pot leaf. All right. So this is my view on CBD. It's not regulated enough.
All right. So Mika says, I will drink tea.
Awesome.
She is at the point of do anything, and then she apologizes for her internet sucking.
That's okay. So as long as you will drink tea, I want you to go to one or two places. You can go to Kroger's, or you can go to your local tea shop or an herbal store. You need chamomile tea and lavender. Okay, chamomile tea and lavender tea mixed together has the same formulation as a lot of the anxiety medications. And it's real simple. You have a cup in the morning, a cup in the evening, and you keep your tea bag with you or your herb bag with you, and you have a cup when you're getting a little jittery. That's one. My other solution is coffee. You think I'm nuts. Over 5 cups of coffee a day will kill anxiety. You'll be hyper until you adjust to it. There's an amino acid in coffee that releases that will calm you down. You got to reach that certain point of caffeine, and then it'll calm you out. This is why you see Aeson drinking coffee all the time. Otherwise, I would be running around with my head cut off.
Yeah.
Also, you have a prescription from me. You're to journal every night for a month. You want to keep track of your symptoms. Then you're going to go to somewhere, whether it be to me, or you're going to go online and you're going to search moon cycles. And you're going to see if your emotions, i.e. your anxiety, is connected to a moon cycle. I.e. every time the moon goes void, of course, you get anxiety. Every time this occurs, you get anxiety. And then I want you to start working on those stressors. Because anxiety is just your body overreacting to something. So a sensory input or something is going on that's causing you to have anxiety. This is not a chemical anxiety. Otherwise, I would be telling you, girl, skip that shit. Just go to the psychologist. No. So that is my prescription. 4 cups of tea every day, preferably chamomile and lavender together. Whatever sweetener you like. Brew it, hot water boiling, 10 minutes, in the cup for 10 minutes. Done. As far as the use of Mary Jane, if it is legal in your state or your country and you have anxiety, I'm good with it as long as you are not working and are not driving.
Well, use responsibly.
Right.
Like, don't operate heavy equipment. Don't put yourself in danger. Don't put others in danger.
Right.
Because, yeah.
And with that, I would love that to become regulated. I would love it to be legal till we can go and buy it and we can drag our ass out.
There you go.
Okay.
So, yeah. And then Ashley points out that sounds about right. There are plenty of CBD dispensaries here in Greensboro, like GNC used to be popular. Yeah. Well, and for those of you who don't remember, I'd still remember this because it rocked my world. Because GNC, like, I remember back in the 90s, we respected GNC. Like, they did a marketing advertising blitz that established them at maybe not necessarily purely medical, but at least from like bodybuilding and, healthcare, or well, not healthcare. Sorry, not what I mean. Health and fitness. they built themselves up as the authority on nutrition, only to have like the most rip them wide open investigative reporting dropped on them like a house.
Right.
That and it wasn't like one product or two products or like a product line had some issues, or like it was a short-term thing. This was like everything they sold was garbage.
Right.
And
if you cannot, Mika, find real chamomile, real lavender, go to Rose Mountain Herbs. I will put the link in our break room for you, and I'll even see if they already have it together. All right, so Ashley had two questions. First question is, can I read for a minor? No, I cannot read for a minor. However, if you are currently their guardian, you can ask the question for them, but I'll be reading for you.
Yes.
That's one. Two, you had a question.
All right, so let's start with Ashley's question, 8/26/96. Why am I in this funk, and what's going to get me out of it, or when will I get out of it?
All right. We've dealt with this before, honey. This funk has to do with you being stressed. When you get stressed, you feel like crap. And when you get stressed, you get almost like you're starting to feel like funk. You ain't getting up and doing your hair. You ain't getting up and doing things. You're not seeing points of things. One, go take a shower. Two, take yourself out of your situation, meaning tell some adult or someone over the age of 13 to watch the kids, put your shoes on, and go for a walk. 15 minutes. Outside, fresh air. Mask if you need to, i.e. if you're going to encounter those things called humans. You put on it, you take your mask with you, thump a music every day for 2 weeks. See if that doesn't change your perspective on everything. Okay?
So, yeah, Ashley was considering trying to find some higher quality vitamins. I have a comment here, and it may be unpopular. But I'm going to say this. One, if you don't have a GP that you feel like you can call and ask before you take a vitamin supplement what they think, please find a GP that you can call and ask about taking a supplement before you take it. Two, before you go down the I'm feeling this and I'm going to research vitamins that will fix that, make sure that you're communicating what that is that you're feeling to your doctor. Sometimes you can have benign symptoms that are, or seemingly benign symptoms in terms of they don't sound like, or more importantly, all the things that will lead you on WebMD, because 99.9% of everything you will ever search on WebMD will lead to cancer. That doesn't mean that it isn't. And it doesn't mean that you're not sick. It doesn't mean that you don't have other medical problems. I say this for a reason. What can happen with taking those vitamins is you may end up changing your blood work. This is why doctors have begun asking about any vitamins and supplements you're on.
Right.
It can change your blood work, and it can inadvertently mask symptoms of something else.
Right.
So before you go down that road, always make sure you've seen your GP first, you have recent blood work, and that you know what's going on.
Right.
And they do as well.
And secondly to that, before you take a pill, research the food. Here's an example. People are really tired of me when they're anemic. And they go, oh, I got to go take iron supplements. No, you don't. You have to hit the grocery aisle. You're going to pick up some spinach. You're going to pick up some kale. And you're going to pick up something very controversial, liver. You're specifically going after chicken livers. Here's why. Chicken livers covered in steak sauce taste like steak. Oh, you're severely anemic, Ashley. Here's Aeson's recipe for it. You need to have, within a week, 2 servings of chicken liver. Chicken liver and onions, fried chicken liver, whatever you want to do with it. You can mix it into a stew, but if you fry it, cover that stuff in A1 sauce as you're cooking it. Fry it up. You won't even know you're having liver, except, the label. I have served liver, and people ask me what that steak was and how I got it so tender. 2, you need to have 4 servings of kale, spinach, or some type of heavy green.
She's going to pass on the liver. Not going to do the liver. No one ever wants to do the liver.
So you're going to do greens. Great. You're going to do greens 4 to 5 times a week. Spinach, kale, any type of those greens. And I bet your blood thickens up.
Well, more importantly, if you're feeling tired, you will start feeling more energetic. I'll go ahead and give you a warning. On the day, the first time you go to do this, please limit your caffeine intake. By the time you have those greens, you should feel deadbeat exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say that is because you introduce that iron into your system, and all that coffee is going to suddenly take effect.
Yep. And yes, A1 sauce, as you're frying the chicken livers, you're going to pour that in there. You may want to marinate them with it. You also do want to rinse your chicken livers.
Awesome. I wanted to make sure because I've seen that happen. One, caffeine is typically, I believe, iron depleting.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of that, if you load up on caffeine, or more importantly, it's one of those things that I think metabolizes with iron. I forget how that works exactly. But I've seen it happen that someone who is like, oh, God, I'm dragging ass, keeps chugging caffeine. And then all of a sudden they have the heavy iron meal, intentionally or not, and they are bouncing off the walls.
Mm-hmm.
Because suddenly they're like everything snaps back online and all that caffeine starts processing and they're like, and no, that is horrible to have happen to you when you're trying to go to bed at 2 a.m. and you're ready to like toothbrush clean the grout in your shower. Don't do it to yourself. But yes. Oh,
Ashley wants my Thanksgiving turkey recipe. Not a problem. My Thanksgiving turkey is real simple. You take a paper bag. Don't care if it comes from Piggly Wiggly, Kroger's, wherever. You throw in 1 bird. You throw in 2 things of butter. You throw in an onion down its gullet. You throw in sage and rosemary and all the spices you want. Next year, I think I'm going to try steak seasoning on it. Maybe that'll improve it. You tie that up into a bundle and you throw it in into the pan and you shove it in the oven at 225 degrees for 4 hours.
Yep.
See, it's not good if you have room issues. Low iron can also lead to issues. My kids had an issue, so definitely can be major issues. Yes, it can be major issues, Susan. So you've got to work it out.
That's kind of my thing is like anytime you go, and vitamins are a specific one, but any supplement, and that includes food supplements, such as like teas that are herbal, things like that. Please always be careful with those.
Yep.
Oh, can create iron issues. Okay.
Yep.
But yeah.
All right. So the next time I do a turkey, probably won't be till Thanksgiving. I will actually do a YouTube video of me cooking the turkey. So you guys can see what's going on with that brown paper turkey. You also can do fried chicken that way.
Yeah.
You batter that chicken, you dip that, and you take that wet chicken, you throw it into a paper bag, and you shake the sucker and out and throw it in the pan.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't convinced the first time I saw this. I was like, "The fuck are you doing to our dinner?" Like, and I get the feeling Ashley's niece is sitting there with the same reaction, like, "Ah, she did what?" Because that's where I was at. That's where I was at. I was sitting there like, "You have lost your mind."
He goes out. He goes out and he's like, "You want to what? I need a brown paper bag for for turkey." He goes out.
Like, I felt the same way the first time too.
He goes out. He buys this roasting pan. It has this framework thing in it. He gets this plastic bag. And I'm like, no. Just get me a brown paper bag.
Can she do it with whole chicken?
Yes. Honey, throw that whole chicken down in there. Throw your seasonings down in there. Some butter. Throw an onion. Don't forget that onion. Throw in some garlic. Wrap that bag up. Throw that sucker in a pan. Put some water in. Slam it in the oven.
There we go. Oh, shaken fried chicken.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's basically shake and bake chicken.
Yeah. Without the plastic.
But yeah.
Yep.
Oh, she's been on a whole chicken kick recently. Nice.
Hey, now Ashley, if you want a night off, the best whole chickens are over at Sam's.
Mm-hmm. If she can get there in time, I don't know if her Sam's is like our Sam's, but like, good luck. Like, there's a window.
They come out at 4 p.m., Ashley. They come out at 4 p.m. Be there at 4 p.m.
We're hungry too. We're eating after the show.
Yeah, we're eating after the show because even the best plans of mice and men did not work today. Yeah. All right. So what else is... Oh, North Carolina. Ashley, darling. You may need to take in consideration this bullcrap. Call your representatives and tell them they're idiots.
Well,
yes.
Hold on. Before we go there, North Carolina is looking at changing daylight savings time. They're no longer going to be doing time change. Is what they're looking at. It is past the Senate and headed to the House, I do believe. And yeah, here's my thing though. I understand it. I'm there. Like, am I the only one on this show right now who's like, I fucking hate time change? I hate changing clocks. I hate like the confusion. I have a car that cannot understand time change. And it annoys the crap out of me. Like, am I the only one there? Am I the only one?
You're the only one there, honey. Because here's what happens. I deal in international time, 24-hour clock. So then we have North Carolina here poking around like the Atlantic. You're going to be on the same time zone as Iceland. I don't know. It screws me up. Twice a year, I'm mentally blur for like a week.
Mm-hmm. And factor in that it doesn't do anything for me.
Right. But think about it. Think how bad it's going to be people trying to book appointments. Mm-hmm. People trying to figure out if you live in North Carolina, can you, here's an example. In North Carolina, I believe it's it's a sheets company. I think it's called Aeson Sheets or something. If you want to call and bitch because your sheets faded, you're going to have to wait until an hour later, or maybe not an hour later than normal people. Planes, trains, and planes, Durham, North Carolina is going to be insane. Like, time is a universal thing. It's universally the same system.
But there's other areas that deal with this.
Yes, and it's confusing and it's terrible for people trying to book appointments. Idaho.
On the bright side. Now, on the bright side, that would just be a death of time change. Now, if I remember right, and because we were talking about this just a touch before the show, and I remember the additional part of it that made it such a nightmare. Mm-hmm. One of the vendors for the company I used to work for, they were our database vendor, was based in Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And the particular area in Indiana that they were in had effectively gotten rid of time change. And I remember the other sticky point of it. They split the difference.
Uh-huh.
They were permanently, like, I think 30 minutes, like they were either 30 minutes ahead or 30 minutes behind, depending upon the time of year.
Right. And now, how much confusion is that going to cause on the computers? And systems and problems. I mean, your computer's going to constantly be alerting you you're on the wrong time.
I know, but there's been a big national push to just do away with time change. Like, quit doing it. Just stop.
It's going to be causing problems because this is going to then cause international problems.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Well, I get there are issues with it. But I'm in the camp that says I don't understand the love affair with time change. I've always thought it was dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so 82696. We have a question from Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
So how many great nieces and nephews will I have from my oldest niece?
Well, let's pull the cards and see. We're going to have a boy. Then we're going to have another marriage. That's long lasting. And then we're going to have another boy. So 2 nephews and 2 marriages.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. All right. So I'm not in this time change gap. It needs to be decided at the UN level for the world to stop doing time change. And then things will be getting themselves a little bit more structured because we put this all together. Tell her to stop shopping the discount aisle then, Ashley.
Oh, let's hope that's the second marriage. I mean, just saying.
Yeah.
Like, first marriage, like, that's okay to go, like, digging through the bargain basement. She's apparently getting a kid, and that shit splits. But then that second one, the one that's going to last, that's when you want the money. Well, otherwise, that just did badly.
No,
like,
here's
get all the money at once and then get stuck with, like, you know, Blue Plate special 4 p.m. dinner with a coupon for the next 50 years.
Well, here's the thing, and this is the thing that I've always said, and people do not get this. If you want to marry a rich man, one, don't do like my sister-in-law and keep saying that you're going to marry a rich man. Go find your rich man. Go to college. Hang out at investment firms.
And be careful what you ask for. Be specific. The universe is like a bad genie. Because now my sister did learn that.
And you learned that.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I learned that one too. But my sister's story is a little better. And without going into her full name, let's just say that all those years she thought she wanted a rich man, she met one. She married Mr. Rich and became Mrs. Rich, our like last name. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you tell yours.
Yeah. I always wanted a white knight. Hi.
You were a little off there. I tend to go by Black Knight, but okay.
Yeah. Like, I got my knight. Should have been more specific. I'm teasing.
Well, you're teasing, but I'm not. My old email, my old Pal Talk ID was always Black Knight.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm just saying it's like a bad genie. It really is. It's like be very specific on what you want. Otherwise, if there's interpretability there, you're gonna get something. Yeah, you. It's gonna be what you asked for, not what you wanted. So be very careful.
Yep. You know, I know people all the time. I want to have lots of money. I want to be around money. I want to have money. I want to have money. They get a job in a bank.
Either that or, yeah, there's that. But then again, she's saying she wants a rich man. She could just end up with a diabetic.
Exactly.
Like, he's rich. He's really
rich. Yeah. So why don't she say she wants a successful relationship with someone that is comfortable in their career?
There you go.
Awesome. All right. So this one was actually suggested by a viewer.
Ooh.
And I've been watching it play out, and it is hilarious. Like, Aldi is hamming it up.
How is this even a lawsuit? Like, I'm sorry. The first thing I see, or like really take to heart in the whole fucking article, is that, like, there's multiple stores with this stupid caterpillar cake. Like, they're not even cute cakes. Okay, they're
I haven't seen. Granted, these are UK. So Aldi's, bring your caterpillar cake over here. Raise money for charities over here. Aldi does a caterpillar cake, and they use the money off of it for charities. Meaning, any profit they make off this caterpillar cake, they sock it into charities. So M&S also makes a caterpillar cake. And they're not loving it. They're not loving it at all. They're like, you're copying our caterpillar.
But then there's all these other stores that have virtually identical cakes.
Right.
Like, it's not just Aldi who went and did this. Like, it isn't. There's, like, tons of them.
Right.
It's like, why did you sue Aldi? Like, is that just like, we'll take out one and the rest will settle? Like, you know, if you sue them, they will submit? Like, what?
Right. Well, you know, and we've seen this lawsuit before with Kit Kat trying to sue in Britain over the 4 pieces of wafer.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Marty. But no, like, like, just be done with it. Like, you should have acted sooner and against everyone.
Right.
Like, don't just single out one store, but I do love Aldi's response. I'm there. I love the response. It's great.
Well, I just love some of the things they've been doing. First of all, they've now put the caterpillar in bars. His packaging was redone to bars. It's just hilarious, some of the things they've been pulling off. Of course, you know, we see Wendy's. Hello, Wendy's. We see you. And, you know, you've been known for a while now, Miss Wendy, to, and of course, we're talking about the hamburger shirt, to be handing some crap over. And going, no. You know, so you're jumping here on the bandwagon. Mark and Spencer, you have no, I don't know. You know, it would be different if they were taking these and going somewhere else with them. Instead, it is, you know, bullcrap. These are bullcrap lawsuits. They don't look the same. They don't look tasty. You know, Mark and Spencer, up your game if that's your problem.
Well, still, it's, I don't know. It's one of those company lawsuit things that's just, you're going to end up settling. It's going to end up being crap. Like, but it's free publicity at least. Like, if anything, I think Aldi sold more cakes.
Yeah, I think they have. And I was also, because I had never heard of Aldi's taking the profits of their cakes and, donating it to a cancer funding charity, including the one that Mark and Spencer actually says they, donate to their corporate sponsoring too. Um, but I really enjoy the Twitter wars. I'm finding it hilarious.
Yes. You gotta love marketing people.
Uh-huh.
Like, I think that's a great way to handle this kind of situation is just don't sit there and I think the days of companies getting sued and hiding may be over. In terms of one, that was never a great strategy to begin with. And I mean, this is kind of in that frivolous lawsuit category.
Right.
Or it feels that way. Seriously, you're going to pick on Aldi for their cake and not all these other stores. It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
But yeah, it's...
Well, and I also think this is a ho-ho versus ding-dong situation.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that, but I'm questioning what is Shrimp doing in Cinnamon Toast's factory? Did someone have Long John Silver's and get lost?
I'm sorry, that's a string of words I just don't think should exist. Cinnamon Toast Crunch Shrimp Tail?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, someone found a shrimp tail in their Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Ew.
Like,
one, you're eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch. What is wrong with you to begin with? But to find a shrimp tail in that, well, that may have made it better compared to my feelings on Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I hate that cereal.
Well, true. But no, I thought we would take a moment and read Cadbury needs help with cleaning. Anyway, Aldi's has tweeted out they wanted to raise money for charities, not lawyers. This is not just a court case. This is free Cadbury. Just calling our lawyers. They have really came up. At Netflix, at BuzzFeed, working title, making caterpillars. Any suggestions? At Judge Ryder, how's your diary look? Asking for a friend. I'm sorry, whoever is doing their social media, my hat is off to you. This is funny.
Yeah. Have fun with it. Ashley, no, it's not.
We all know that, you prefer grape nuts.
Yeah, I am little old people cereal section. That's where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I'm dead serious. I never liked the super sweet cereals even as a kid. I liked the toys in them. I never actually liked the cereal.
Right.
So yeah, no. I'm giving you grief though. No, I don't know. One, I can't do a lot of sugar first thing in the morning. It makes me sick. I will eat all the pancakes and waffles and, sweets you want me to for lunch or dinner. I'll gladly go to IHOP at 2 a.m. Do not get me up for breakfast at IHOP. Because I'm just going to be sitting there going, no, there's nothing I can eat here. I need eggs and sausage and just get the sugar as far away from me as humanly possible.
Right. And everyone knows my perfect breakfast, a Slim Fast and a cup of coffee. Leave me alone. Let me enjoy my Slim Fast and coffee. Then you can come bug me with your problems.
I had not heard about the grape nut shortage.
Well, there's a grape nut shortage. There is a ketchup shortage.
You were you were mentioning that. There's a tomato shortage, isn't there? That's what it all springs from, because duh. You were unaware there's a little bit of tomato in your ketchup.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Now, here's the level of bothered I am about a ketchup shortage. Does it affect my mayonnaise? Dukes, you better stay in action. Fly in some chickens there, get some eggs going on. If you need vinegar, I got it. Do not have a Duke's mayonnaise shortage, and we'll be fine.
Well, but now we have a surplus of toilet paper.
That's because I got a
companies
Sam's
are
Club
losing their
membership.
shirts on like paper products now.
Right.
Because everyone has like a 200-year supply.
No, we don't.
Well, you know what I mean, though. Like, there was such a rush out to buy like toilet paper and paper towels, and now production ramped back up,
Mm-hmm.
and no one's buying it.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, we don't have 200 rolls of it, but I did go to Sam's Club. I have moved over to shopping at Sam's.
Oh, Ashley. Oh, Ashley. You poor child. I think I should take myself out for the lesson you are about to have dropped on you.
No. I'm moving on.
Oh, okay. You're leaving that alone. Okay, won't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Got it.
Yeah, I am not dating Ashley. Ashley is a Patreon. She's not. She comes up to my house. You know, there is Duke's mayonnaise in the refrigerator. There's not Miracle Whelp or Hellman's with who knows what else in it.
Yeah. That was the one thing I got told at the beginning of the relationship. There was one mayonnaise and one mayonnaise only. No other mayonnaise exists. Don't even think about it.
Unless you plan on making it homemade, and here's the recipe.
Yeah, no. Apparently, no one bought shampoo and conditioner or body wash. They just bought TP
or soap. Like, why is there not a shortage of soap? That's what's scary to me.
Yeah. Although then again, I have the worst timing, and I told him about this. Like, I sometimes end up making purchases that make me uncomfortable to go to a cashier. And I don't mean like condoms or lube or like those kinds of uncomfortable. I mean the ones where I have this unfortunate habit, or I used to, of every once in a while, I will run out of like everything in a category. Shampoo, conditioner, soap, like, you know, razors, deodorant, like everything in that bathroom morning run, like toothpaste, I've used my last toothbrush. I end up at Walmart with a cart that looks like I just discovered personal hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
And that just makes me feel awkward. Like, I feel like I have to defend myself. Like, I've been doing this for years. This just happened. Okay? Like, don't judge me. I, like, used the last of it to come here. Like, I took a shower with the last of the shampoo, the conditioner, the soap, the body wash, like, all of that before I came here. Like, I didn't just discover.
Mm-hmm. Actually, you're done with children. You have enough.
Pardon?
I was letting Ashley know she has enough children.
Is she permanently regulated or relegated to headache status?
No, her husband's too cute for that one.
Ooh.
Okay. Anyway, moving on to other weird news in the news. You had a story.
Oh, I did. Which story did I have? Oh, the one I sent. No, that was we did that one.
Well, what about the new iPhone that they're now having to recreate the marketing platform for? Apparently, iPhone 14 will not be able to run your marketing. It just blanks out. Like, if you're on YouTube and an ad pops up, it just blanks it out.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew. No. So, like, okay, yeah, no, yeah. That's ew.
Yeah.
Well, but good. Is everyone else tired of pop-ups? Like, I'm done.
No, this isn't a pop-up. This is just a normal ad.
Well, but I'm saying, though, ads and pop-ups and all the like crap we're going through. Like, I'm sorry, I'm done with a lot of ads.
Right. But what I'm saying is the matrix of it, cannot handle it. So you're watching this really great YouTube that's been monetized because, YouTube does that. We're not part of the monetization process. The only support we get is from our patrons.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of being able to watch your video and there's an ad and you skip it and you can move on, no, it just fails. So those viewers on YouTube right now, if you're watching it with an iPhone 14 and they flash an ad here, it'll crash and you have to go and re-upload.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ew.
Can you imagine trying to scroll Facebook and it just keeps crashing?
Fair. I think that's going to be a feature they have to work the bugs out on.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, because that's a little too much. Like, I don't want to lose access to content, but I'm personally a little done with ads.
Well,
like, I mean, to the point that some of this crap has gotten. Now, I will say, in terms of ads, I was liking. I was watching a movie last night,
mm-hmm.
and there were actual relevant ads.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I paused the movie and got an ad as like my hold screen while I was paused. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm there with that. Like, do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was relevant. It was cute. It was funny. And, like, it was, okay, I'm cool with that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't, like, stop my movie every, like, good part and be like, and now about, like, Vagiblast 9000, blah, 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 blah. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, because that gets me blamed.
At this point, I don't even blame you for ads. I don't blame anyone for ads. Like, I don't have enough time.
Well, again, you fuss at me and go, "What have you been watching? You're ruining my stream, or you're ruining my music."
Well, okay, now music. Now that's different.
Uh-huh.
Now that's different. Here's what we did wrong. We have a family Spotify. We do. Unfortunately, when we set up hers, we signed into my account for all of them.
That's why we're putting the hymns in for me.
Yes.
Yes.
Because all of a sudden so those of you unfamiliar with Spotify, though I think other music apps have started doing this, there is a like recommended for you, like based on your listening history setup. A lot of apps have this. For Spotify, it's Discover Weekly. I had noticed my Discover Weekly went crazy. And it's like, what are you doing? I didn't even make the connection until we were in the car, and you're like, oh, I'd listen to that. And I'm like, crap, you've been cooking again, haven't you?
Yes, I do it twice a day for you.
Well, but with music. You don't always hit the music, but I was like, you went on a long cooking spree with music, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm like, this is why I'm getting so much country. Like all my suggestions.
Yeah. But you also watched a movie this weekend. Well, today, I guess. I don't know when you've watched it. I've been a little busy.
I know. Well, last night I rewatched Fried Green Tomatoes.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the show.
Oh, no. That's the series that had been suggested here was Don't Fuck with Cats. I started it. Yeah, it's on Netflix. I'm liking it. It is kind of like it's a deep dive on something I barely remembered being an issue. Mostly because of when it happened. Like, I had a lot going on in my life in 2010, okay? Like that rough period. There was way too much going on. So I barely remember parts of the story and it being a news thing. But yeah, this gets really in depth on the guy who had posted videos of murdering kittens, and then went on to post a video of him murdering a human. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've not watched it yet, but so far you think it's good?
I do. Like it is good coverage. It is a really already like I'm an episode and change in. It is a screwed up, messed up story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a bad story, but it's great coverage of it.
Right.
Like this is like Stephen King rough draft that he would have thrown out and going, ew. Like,
Right.
ew. Like, and
Okay.
this is the writer of Pet Sematary, just as a reminder, Stephen King, writer of Pet Sematary. He wrote that and didn't go, ew, and throw it away. He published that. So I like that's my scale for some things is like would Stephen King release this? And I don't think Stephen King would release this as a fictional story. So
yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've hit that mark. It makes my editing happy.
Yes.
And, we will be back Tuesday. I think we're going to have a double feature. We've got to work out the calendar on that one. And, of course, we will, stuff will be going up. Hope you guys are enjoying. And I hope you have a great weekend. Remember to wear your mask, wash your hands, and take time outside. Bye.
Well, we do want to thank our Patreon sponsors, Beverly Walker, Minka G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryant, and Ashley Gist, and Shannon.
Yes, thank you, Shannon.
Thank you so much, guys. We love our baristas. If you'd like to learn more about the show or how to become a Patreon supporter, please visit pcspnetwork.com.
Yes. All right, guys, you have a great evening. We'll see you next week.
Let's work. Yo, it's go time, showtime, never backing down time. One shot, yo, make it count, yo. Crunch time, shine time, make this moment my time. Get a grip, yo, ready, set, go. We bring the thunder. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's go. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Bring the thunder. Let's work. Yeah, it's my time, yo time. Step into the spotlight. Get lit, yo. Let yourself go. On time, high time. Gotta go big time. This is it, yo. Never take no fight time. Grind time. Take it to the street time. Turn the roof off. Get loco. Game time, win time. We gon' bring it home time. No regrets now. Let it all go. We bring the thunder.